Hey guys, Melissa Guzman here, and I'm here to clarify why every time you look at a house, interested maybe into looking into purchasing, why is it that you have so many people calling you afterwards? And why do you get forwarded to people who are not actually directly related to the house that you have inquired on? So if you're interested to know the tea and why it works that way, stay tuned. So a lot of you would know, maybe I should sit up a little bit. I'm kind of short and I'm leaning back, but I'm having my coffee with you guys, and this is a question as a realtor I get asked all the time. Without bashing any sites, I just want to tell you that it is common practice now to lure in buyers or sellers or anybody who may at any time be interested in buying or selling in the near future by publicizing a private MLS. As realtors use multiple listing service, we use to filter and list to other realtors properties that are on the market for, doing our transactions. They have engines to publicize them. They put them out there and give the illusion that, you're able to do it all yourself, right? So we live in a DIY culture, which is totally fine. I'm very DIY with many things, but in this DIY culture, there are certain things that really should be left to a professional. And realty, I believe, not just because I'm a realtor, but I believe realty is one of them, just like law and just like, medicine. Not saying that realtors have the same educational requirements as doctors or lawyers. I'm not trying to, put us up on that kind of educational level. But we do have training to protect our buyers and our sellers. And because it's something that we do day in and day out, there's so many variables that a lot of times you could be in the business for 20 plus years and you still will learn new things every day. So it's imperative when you're a realtor to have a strong network of people that you can advise with, whether within your brokerage or, mentors or just people that are in your loop of friends and people that are trusted confidants that if you come across something, you can get information from them. Not everybody has those kinds of resources. And on top of the regular trainings that we have to go through, and of course, if you're dealing with a good realtor, we're learning every single day, So of course, it's fun to look at houses. It's houses, we start creating these dreams around imagining ourselves living there, not really knowing the ins and outs, but it starts with a dream, and that's totally fine. But once you start looking online and you say, oh my gosh, this house is amazing, then you're like, well, maybe I do want to buy it, So you click on it, put in your information so you can get a little more pictures to look at or whatever. Then all of a sudden you are spammed with people calling and emailing and sending all this information, and it's overwhelming, and you think that maybe you have a realtor already and you think that you're just browsing and you have a question. You're like, oh, I'll just have this question answered real quick. I'll click on this. Then all of a sudden other realtors are calling you and confusing you, and then maybe your realtor you're already working with is like, oh my gosh, you don't want to confuse the situation, and it just really here's the tea, okay? So things like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, us realtors can pay to get information, lead sources, which is you going online and browsing, putting your information in there. We can pay to have it forwarded to us, okay? That's my light. And so if you pay to the highest bidder, basically your information gets forwarded to them. That does not mean that the house that you're clicking on to get information, you're dealing directly with the agent like your professional realtor would do for you. Basically, you're not going to get anywhere unless you're represented. Everybody is going to want your business and want to represent you exclusively because that's how we get paid. If we're not representing you exclusively, pretty much anybody can come by and tell you such and such and such, and you can potentially go in that direction. Is it ethical? Absolutely not. Once a realtor gets a sniff that you might be in the market, first thing they're going to ask you, are you working with an agent? And the reason they ask that is because we ethically are not supposed to try to come in and swoop on clients. Once you're working with an agent, basically other agents shouldn't be advising you or helping you out. You work with that agent exclusively, and that's a good thing. You really want, if you're going to shop around for a realtor, you want to decide on one pretty early in the game. You don't want to be switching here and switching there. You want to stick with one because they're going to know what you've looked at, what your history is, what your background is, because part of what we do is get to know you inside and out so that we can help you and be your best fiduciary and guide you to what's going to be the best for you. So, long story short, if you go online and you're browsing for houses on places like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, I know there's more, if you inquire at all, and even if you don't inquire, with going on those sites, sometimes that's enough for them to get your information. So if you're going to use those public sites for looking for homes, you will definitely get bombarded with advertisements and with all kinds of people that want your business, and hopefully you have someone that you can work with that will guide you through that, because it can be really confusing. I have personally got clients who have inquired through Zillow, and they forwarded, because my brokerage is a premier agent. So when they inquired on a house, it got sent to me and I was able to talk to them. But the first thing I asked them, of course, have you applied for a loan for a house before? Are you working with a realtor? And that opens the conversation. After I had that conversation with them, unfortunately, they were still bombarded with all kinds of other realtors and lenders. But once I talked to them, I let them know that you don't have to be mean to these people, but you politely can say, I'm already taken care of as far as lending. I already have a realtor. Thank you for your time. Because otherwise, they're going to just keep trying to sell you. If you're like, oh, maybe I'm interested, maybe I'm not. If you give any kind of window, they're salespeople. They're going to keep going until, they're trained to overcome those objections. So hopefully your realtor has a private viewing site that they can send you a link for, that only will have your realtor's information, and only your realtor will see what you're looking at, and you can inquire directly. A lot of realtors, including myself, have engines like that. So that way, if you want to look at homes yourself, not just wait for the ones that your realtor shows you that may be of interest and in your price range, let them know. Then you'll save yourself from putting all your information out there and just getting blown up from all these sites and them sending you marketing material. So if you have any other questions about this process, please leave it down in the comments. And if you liked what I had to say today, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel so that I can help give whatever information is of value to you. And if you found value in this, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and let me know again in the comments.